Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. How many people here know who I am? About everybody? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ken Elliott. I'm a lieutenant with Fairfield Fire and Rescue. I have served with Fire and Rescue since 1984. I started as a dispatcher in Myrtle Beach. I ended up going in the military station with the Navy as a hospital foreman. I was stationed with the 2nd Marine Battalion in Camp Lejeune and stationed in Navy Hospital in Charleston. A few years after I got out, I moved back here locally and went to work at Horry County Fire Rescue and retired there in 2012. Kind of leading into part of the lesson today off of my history. Anybody here not familiar with the building? Everybody familiar with the building? We got an exit to this room here. If anything happens, the emergency exit down at the end, the double doors are all marked by exit signs. Drinks are allowed in the classroom. There's a drink machine, snack machine over at the entrance to the bay. The bathroom's on the opposite side of the bay, on the other side of the apparatus bay up in the front corner of the building. That's the basics on the building. Everybody can find their way around other than that. This lesson plan we're going to cover where Mount Suribachi is, because everybody's looking at the PowerPoint going, what is that, right? We're going to go over the events leading up to the flag raising at Mount Suribachi. We're going to learn about the people that were involved in raising the flags and find out why 2 flags were raised. Very little people know that 2 flags were raised at Mount Suribachi and why they were raised. And there's a recent discovery in 2016 of some additional information that has come out about the whole entire incident. Everybody has seen this photo at one time in their life, right? That's the iconic photo. Everybody's seen it at some point and often wondered probably where it happened at. So we're going to get into that this morning and clarify some, maybe you've heard rumors or whatever about it, and we're going to clarify some of that, okay? So, our objectives for this class is going to be, where is Mount Suribachi located? What happened? Obviously we know what happened, but we're going to get in depth into what happened. Who was involved and when did it happen? Okay? So, Mount Suribachi, it is a volcanic island in the Pacific Ocean. It's on the island of Iwo Jima. Mount Suribachi is 554 feet tall. It's located on the southwest corner of the island. The Japanese gave it the name Suribachi because it looks like a Japanese grinding bowl. Okay? The island of Iwo Jima is shaped like a trapezoid. The original Marines that landed there actually said it looked like a gray pork chop the way it was shaped. Iwo Jima, to put it in perspective, since this was during World War II, is located 760 miles south-southeast of Tokyo, and it's only 8 square miles in size, so it's basically about 5 miles long and about 2 miles wide, okay? A little under 5 miles long and a little under 2 miles wide is its widest point. So, February 19th, 1945. There have been several bombings of the island of Iwo Jima that the U.S. was trying to take over. It had 3 airfields on it. The U.S. was going to take over Iwo Jima during World War II, and it was a strategic battle point. Okay, so there they had bombed it and bombed it and bombed it, and nothing. They never could make any headway. They decided to send 2 battalions of Marines to land on Iwo Jima. The Secretary of the Navy, James Forrestal, who was watching, he actually was on a command ship offshore, ordered the amphibious landing of the 2 Marine battalions to land on Iwo Jima. Once they got on the land and the Marines landed and they started trying to take Iwo Jima, there was so fierce fighting, they were taking a yard at the time. And they decided then that it was not going to be a quick and easy task. They found out real quick why they were not getting any headway with the bombings, that the Japanese had built pillboxes, concrete structures, even with the top of the sand, on the island, and they were all connected by tunnels. So if they were bombing this pillbox, the Japanese would take off and go down the tunnel to the next pillbox until they quit bombing that one, and they would come back to that one. So the firefighting would start again, and they couldn't figure out why. The Marines during the landing suffered a heavy number of casualties. But a few days into it, on February 23rd, 1945, let me move that out of the way, sorry about that. The 28th Marine Regiment closed in around Mount Suribachi. It was heavily fortified by the Japanese Army. There were 40 Marines with that regiment that decided to take that they took orders to do an ascent on the mountain, Mount Suribachi. The 40 Marines made it to the top in about 10 to 15 minutes. None of the Japanese noticed them going up the side of the mountain to the top. Once they got to the top, there was a foxhole or a field gun emplacement at the top, and there was a heavy battle that started, small arms fire between them and the Japanese that were at the top. And as the smoke was clearing, 2 Marines had pulled out a flag that had been sent on shore with them from the amphibious landing ship, the USS Missoula. As they were making their makeshift flagpole, they found they couldn't find anything. They finally located a piece of old Japanese water pipe, tied the flag to the top, and as the smoke was clearing, they started raising the flag. Corporal Charles Lindbergh was one of the individuals that was raising the flag. He said that when it went up, and I quote, "When it went up, all hell broke loose. Troops cheered, ships blew horns and whistles, and some men openly wept." That was a turning point of the island. The photographer that you see of the photo on the left of the first flag raising, it was taken by Sergeant Lewis R. Lowry. He was with Leatherneck Magazine. If none of y'all are familiar with Leatherneck Magazine, it's a magazine that's put out by the Marine Corps for the Marine Corps. It's all over your Marine Corps bases, and it has U.S. military history of the Marine Corps in it and up-to-date things that are going on. Assisting Corporal Lindbergh in the first photo, you've got PFC Raymond Jacobs, Sergeant Henry Hansen, Sergeant Ernest Thomas, Private Phil Ward, Navy Corpsman John Bradley, and PFC James Michaels. You had a colonel with the Marine Corps, Colonel Johnson. He decided, you know what, that flag's not big enough. So let's send another flag up. So he locates a larger flag, which is almost twice the size of the first flag, and sends it up the mountain with another group of Marines. They get up to the top, and they lower it down. They try to find the same guys that put the first flag up to erect the second flag, but they couldn't locate but one of them, a Navy corpsman. They turn around and raise the second flag. And as they're raising the second flag, you've got a cameraman there that was an Associated Press photographer, Joe Rosenthal. He was taking pictures, and him and a guy doing video work, filming everything that happened on the island, got into I guess it was an argument. They were in each other's way. The media was pushing against each other, and he finally reached around him and took one picture. Had no idea how it turned out. It's not like today, you don't take a picture and look at the screen. The film had to get developed in 1945. And it turned out to be the iconic photo that you see on the right, taken by Joe Rosenthal, that has been displayed everywhere. In the second flag raising was PFC Ira Hayes, PFC Solsey, Sergeant Michael Strank, Navy Corpsman John Bradley again in the second one, and PFC Gaming. The first flag raising is often overlooked because the second one, like I said, is the one that is seen in most circulations. Several people claim that Mr. Rosenthal staged the second picture, that it was not actually put up the way you see it in it. And the reason for the confusion that it was staged like that is he did take a stage photo of 4 Marines standing around the base of the flag. And when he got back, he was asked, he didn't know anything about his footage. He didn't know anything about it. And he got asked, did you stage the photo? And he said, yeah, I staged the photo. He didn't mean this one, he meant the one that had everybody standing around it posing. So there started an argument amongst the Associated Press and the Marine Corps that the photo was staged or not staged. Any way it went, that's the photo that ended up in circulation. So there was a video there was a video of the second flag raising that was taken by United States Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Bill Gunnost. He was a war correspondent covering the raising of the flag. He didn't make it to the top for the first one, but he had made it to the top of Mount Suribachi for the second one. And he had filmed it and sent the film back down by courier to send it to be developed. Within a couple of days of the raising of the flag, he was actually an insertion team that went into a tunnel with 2 other Marines to search out enemy that was still firing upon him from a pillbox, and he was killed and his body was never recovered. Therefore, the video can't be authenticated because he's not around to say, yes, I took that video. So all it did was add more fuel to the fire that the photo was staged. But here in recent years, they've determined that the second one was not staged and have figured out everything about it. So, of the iconic photos that you see on the right, 3 of those were killed in action on Iwo Jima in the days following the flag raising. 2 survived to come back to the States. PFC Arthur Gangan was from Manchester, New Hampshire. He was assigned to the 28th Marines of the 5th Marine Division. His awards included the Navy Presidential Unit Citation, China Service Medal, American Campaign Medal, the Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal with 1 star, and the World War II Victory Medal. He died October 12, 1979 in Manchester, New Hampshire. John Henry Bradley was the only corpsman in the photo. He was from Antigo, Wisconsin. He was assigned to the 28th Marines, 5th Marine Division. Iwo Jima was his first and only duty station. He also was awarded with several awards, including the Navy Cross, a Purple Heart, Presidential Unit Citation with 1 star, the American Campaign Medal, the Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal with 1 star, World War II Victory Medal. He was the longest of the ones surviving that were in the photo on the right, and he died at the age of 70 in 1994 in his hometown. Now, there was a little bit of controversy. Okay? So, there have been some difference in opinion who is in the photo on the right, who is not in the photo on the right. When this picture was taken, it was during wartime. So therefore, the photographer didn't stop everybody like they do now and ask you who's in the picture. So some research was done, and on June 23rd, 2016, the Marine Corps concluded that an unknown person in the photo that was initially determined to be Corpsman John Bradley is not Corpsman John Bradley. It was determined that it was PFC Harold Schultz. And the reason they figured it out is, when the photo's blown up, there was a Smithsonian documentary done on the raising of the flag of Iwo Jima. This is the picture on the right. And they were doing a documentary, and they started looking at all the gear all the soldiers were wearing. And they eliminated the Navy corpsman as being in the second photo because the person that they thought was John Bradley was wearing M16 magazine carriers on his vest, and he was carrying a set of wire cutters on his hip to get through barbed wire and stuff like that were on the island. It's very easy to determine. Anybody that knows anything about the military, corpsmen or medics aren't allowed to wear or carry anything to do with a long rifle. They can only carry a pistol for self-defense. They looked at pictures taken of John Bradley earlier in the day, on the same day the flag was raised, and John Bradley was carrying a .45 on his side and magazine pouches for a .45. So he did not have what was on in the second photo. Therefore, it was changed to who was actually in the photo. This was in 2016 now. So he's taken off as being a list of who it was, and Harold Schultz is going to be replaced. The Marine Corps did release a statement saying, quote, simply stated, our fighting spirit is captured in that frame, and it remains a symbol of the tremendous accomplishments of our Corps. What they did together and what they represent remains most important. That does not change. There also has been some discussion due to the documentary that there was a third flag raised at Iwo Jima. Okay? There's been no reference to it in history anywhere else. The documentary run up on one person that says they thought that a third flag flew at Iwo Jima on the same day, but there's been no reference to it by anybody else that was there, including any of the flag raisers that was there for the first photo or the flag raisers that were there for the second photo. The controversy was over one person in the photo. From the first flag raising to the second flag raising, they have determined that the original flag raisers were in truth the first ones, and the corpsman was in the first one, but he was not in the second one. He wasn't present for the raising of the flag. So, what we end up with, everybody awake now? What we end up with is in the last photo here, the last video here. This is the Marine Corps War Memorial. It's or the Iwo Jima Memorial. Some people call it different things. It's a national monument located in Arlington, Virginia. It was dedicated in 1954 to all the United States Marine Corps personnel who died in defense of the United States Marine Corps and died in defense of the United States since 1775. This memorial was inspired by the iconic 1945 photo of the 6 Marines raising the U.S. flag on top of Mount Suribachi during the Battle of Iwo Jima by Rosenthal. After seeing the photograph for the first time, there was a sculpture. He was a French sculptor, Felix de Weldon, created a model for this sculpture based on the photo in a single weekend at Patumps River Naval Air Station in Maryland. He was serving there in the Navy. He and an architect designed a memorial and presented it to Congress, but funding was not possible during the war. In 1947, a federal foundation was established to raise funds for the memorial. The commission for the memorial was awarded in 1951 and groundbreaking was held. On February 19, 1954, as you can see in the slide, it cost $850,000 in February of '54. So what was it paid for? It was not funded by any tax dollars. It was not funded by any public funds. It was paid for with donations from the U.S. Marine Corps, from former Marines, the Marine Corps Reservists, friends of the Marine Corps, and members of the Naval Service. There were no public funds used in the building and the monument. It is all bronze. It has every one of them's name at the bottom. Yes, that is the second photo, so John Bradley's name's coming off, and they're going to correct it. But it has a 60-foot bronze flagpole. The statues, the actual figurines of each person on it are 36 foot in height. So it's rather large. If you've ever been there, it towers over everything at Arlington. Okay, and Alexandria, Virginia, not Arlington, in Alexandria, Virginia. So this became an iconic monument. And in 1961, President John F. Kennedy issued a proclamation that a flag of the United States will fly over the memorial 24 hours a day. And it is one of the few official sites that this is a proclamation of keeping a flag on it 24 hours a day. So by it being a proclamation, what does that mean? It can never come down, right? There will always be a flag on this monument. So
where are your two flags at now that used to be that were up there?
the two flags now, the two flags that are in this photo, the original first flag that was raised and the second flag that was raised they've been restored and placed in a display at the National Museum for the Marine Corps in Triangle, Virginia. They're on display there with several other things that the Marine Corps has at the museum. Anything else? Any questions? Any other questions?
Why was the U.S. With the Marines, or the Navy with the Marines?
Good question. Actually, that's a very good question. She asked, if y'all couldn't hear her on that side of the room, why the Navy was with the Marines. The Marine Corps is a department of the Navy. The Navy is its own branch of service. The Marine Corps, therefore, does not have a medical field. The Marine Corps uses the medical field, the doctors, nurses, dental technicians, dentists, and medics or corpsmen to serve with them in the field. So that's how John Bradley ended up with the Marines and the raising of the flag. Any other questions? So everybody's ready for the test, right? So we've gone over what happened on Iwo Jima. We've learned about the difference in both flags. We figured out that there was some discrepancy in the flags and some discrepancy in the people. And we have also learned about where Mount Suribachi is during the lesson, correct? Any more questions? Everybody wants to take a test?